Hi, this is Brad Weber with Local Umbrella Media. Welcome to Beyond the Bridge. I'm at the beautiful IQ Podcast Studios in beautiful Coronado, California, as always. And gosh, I drove across the bridge today, and I just never get tired of coming to Coronado. There's no place like it. So, anyway,
That's for sure.
um, I have a great guest today, a very special guest, and I'm so happy to have her not only on the show, but as part of our team. Her name's Melodie Ortiz Nungesser. Hopefully, I got that right.
You
Melodie.
sure did. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Melodie was kind enough to write a long bio, but it's on my phone and my eyes aren't good enough to read it. But so I'm going to let you elaborate on who you are, why you're here, why we got together kind of. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm very happy to be here. I joined the team, gosh, I think it's been a couple weeks ago. And after a delightful conversation with Brad over local umbrella media, I have a degree in business management. I've had a lot of in depth knowledge about most business processes, but I most recently came from a previous publication in the North County that unfortunately succumbed to the COVID closures and that sort of thing. What I'm most pleased about coming on and joining this team is that I've always had a passion about storytelling and targeted messaging that creates, I guess, business changing content. And after meeting you, Brad, and going over what we could do in expanding this brand and taking it to the next level, I was just thrilled and excited to kind of be able to do what I guess I've always had a passion to do, and that is to take local leaders in our environment and highlight them, showcase them, if you will, speak their message and their truth, and really, I guess, show what they already do for a community and make sure that the rest of the community gets to hear them. I guess give them a bigger platform to do what they already do.
Yeah,
Um,
makes sense.
so,
Yeah,
yeah,
something people don't know if you're not in this industry. COVID's been hard on just about everybody. Certainly, most businesses, except certain categories. And publishing and advertising sales has been really tough here in San Diego. Some of the most iconic brands have gone out of business. Some of the bigger names in town now. A couple of them are coming back or trying to come back.
right.
And how long were you with the other magazine?
I was there just shy of 2.5 years. And, it's interesting because I didn't originally come from the publishing world. I did more of, business direction. And I was the director of business development there. So my roles were multifaceted. But I guess, with a boom in technology and the urbanization, I guess if today people are turning to knowledge that's disseminated through channels like newspapers and magazines and web applications and that sort of thing. And so I think for me, marketing is essential on every level. And I've always had a good concept of what that looks like. But I think, getting that message out for local businesses is the key, and making it hyper local is really where the trust level lies.
Yep.
And
Uh,
so,
I'm really familiar, obviously, with, we're pretty much in San Diego. That's where we started, and we're expanding to North County. But I'm very familiar with the publication you were with. I thought it was pretty well done. I can see why people, liked it. And I talked to a lot of people, especially when it first came out, that they really thought
mhm,
it was cool because it did kind of what we're doing. We're kind of in the
right.
same thing. We just make people feel good about living in their community, celebrating the kids and the new businesses, and shop local, and just celebrating life in that small neighborhood. One of the taglines I always use selling against it, because we're always in competition in certain
Right.
ways, was they called it a zip code magazine. So it had the zip code on the cover. And I said, people, we like to get emotional. You got to get emotional in sales, and nobody's emotional about their zip code. So I
Right.
don't live in I live in Normal Heights down here, and people there just love the community. So we didn't
Right.
call it 92116. We called it Normal Heights
Normal heights.
Up
Right.
News. And
Right.
people, it was like putting a t-shirt on them. They wore Normal Heights t-shirts. They had lots of stuff in Normal Heights, and so we just celebrate that part of it. So the smaller you got, the more people care. The smaller the focus, the more people get emotional about, this is mine. So when it shows up in the mailbox, they open it. So that's one thing we're doing differently, and we're certainly glad to have you on board with your, not only who you are. I mean, I just said that before. I feel like I'm surrounded by a bunch of angels, and it's not just, you know, some female and male angels, but they're just all good people. And that's, geez,
Right.
it's just so fun to work with people that you don't have to worry about uh, what kind of people they are.
Right.
Because I know we have a
Right.
great product. We're improving the product. And, you know, we always have to sell against digital and things like that. I have for years, and I'm not an expert in that, but we've got tools now to kind of make a complete, what we intended to do with Umbrella was cover everything. That was, you know, whether you needed digital or print or a podcast or a video or photography. If you needed to drum up business and get the word out, we've got you covered with our Umbrella.
Yeah. And I
So
think that's what I loved about our conversation and dialogue was that creating the narrative moving forward was truly capturing what inspires the local community will naturally invigorate local businesses.
mhm,
And taking that to the next level is really where we're coming from. And you know, local umbrella media has been fortunate to survive the COVID closures and the chaos that went on for businesses. And I think, you know, your heart for giving back and that's apparent. Every person that I meet that has encountered your business and how you handle yourself, I think is truly um, inspiring because, you know, for me, and I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity that I just came from, but what's cool is that local umbrella media truly is a multi-level digital print social media marketing company that, you know, will use everything in their arsenal to get, you know, the needs met of their client.
yep.
And I think that that speaks volumes.
Yeah, well, thanks for the kind words. I appreciate that. I was talking to a gentleman in the Midwest. We just hooked up with a company. We're developing the California market for a very successful magazine company called Town Post Media out in Indiana and Kentucky, and I think they're in another state already. But he's really successful. And we always talk about print. You know, people say print is dead, and he says, you know, I have all this digital stuff. It's all available to me, but I just print is what really works. So his tagline is, we are a digital, print, and social media publication.
There
And
you
print,
go.
you said, Brad, print is always in the middle because it's really in the middle. Without the print, the other stuff, everybody does it. You know, how
Right.
do you compete? How do you stand out? Well, you can spend a lot of money, but most of our local businesses don't have huge budgets. So for the budget you have, you can be in the mailbox, you can be, you know, you can know your neighbor, you can reach them that way. And now we have all the digital tools to kind of wrap it up and cover all the bases. So these small businesses don't have to, believe me, I get calls every day too. They want to sell
Right.
me social media and SEO and gosh, websites and everything. It's like, gosh, I don't have time to talk to you. And but the real reason is, how do I know what's going to work? There's just
Right.
dozens, hundreds, thousands of them out there. Well, we can form a relationship with businesses. We know the print works. We're very unique in that world, much more now than we were a year ago.
Right.
There's fewer of us around, and we're one of the very few, uh, maybe the only one, but I should no, not one, not the only one, but that continue to publish every month. We did not skip a beat. Our revenue went down, but not that much. But anyway, we're back. You know, it's a relationship business. We want to help people. It
It
will come
is.
back to us. You just got to show up every day, treat people right, be reasonable, have a good product, and you know, you're part of that. You just fit right into the mold. So we're happy
Thank
to have
you.
you. One thing I
I'm
didn't
excited.
say, good. I didn't introduce you properly. You are officially the associate publisher currently of the North County editions, because that's kind of our new expanding area, and that's where you live, and that's where your knowledge base is and your contacts are. But that will probably change as we grow rapidly in other, not only other geographic areas, but other responsibilities and places where we've got planned for the future. So,
Yeah,
um,
and it's
well,
exciting to be here. You know, being a part of the Women's Week event and seeing the people that impact our local communities, but also on even a farther scale than that. I mean, they're all interested in this hyper local movement.
Yep.
And I think what's so exciting about it is truly taking it from a place that, we're coming from a time that there's so much unrest and so much mistrust with our global, bigger mainstream media
Mhm.
that we really are looking towards our hyper local, independent, sort of small scale communities to get our referral bases and get our communication sources that we trust. And so, what's cool about our new local leaders program is really identifying those people that can give those resources and those connections and to their local communities. And so I'm super excited to take this on and see where we can go with this and really give back to our communities in such a special way.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited too. And you've been, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a couple weeks, enough to get your feet wet and
Yeah.
talk to people. And sometimes you wonder when you bring someone on board, when they go start talking to people, are they going to call you back 2 weeks later and say, you know what, it sounded good when we met, but I've talked to some people and I'm not really into it anymore. And you've kind of gone the other direction. Every time I talk to you, you're a little more excited and you learn a little bit more. You're talk to somebody else, and it's like John said, John, the guy in Indianapolis, or
Right.
Indiana, he said, nobody's not, it's like the Sarah Lee thing. Nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee. Nobody doesn't like their community, talking about the great things happening in their community. These publications, you don't run into people that say, "Oh, that's stupid. That's not going to work." I mean, everybody thinks it works. So you just treat people right, when it comes to a budget, you make it fit for them, whether it's a coffee shop
Right.
on the corner or a big pest control company or solar company that wants to reach all of San Diego. We have those options. So, um, that's the
And I
future's.
think I think when it comes to print, there's no doubt that, it's there are those people that are like, is print viable and that sort of thing, but we're a visual person. I mean, that's the nature of who we are. So I think there's always going to be a relevancy there, but communicating that we are going to make this happen for them and prove the analytics that work. But way past that, I think what we're doing is such a bigger scale than that, and really identifying and being a part of their bigger picture marketing and their true success stories. And I think when they see that and they get to be a part of it, they really come back with such a great message. I think it's a really cool process to go through. And so it's like I said, sometimes you go out there and it's not easy. So I see what you're saying when people tend to come back and respond a certain way. But if you know your passion, purpose, and sort of what you're trying to accomplish here, I think that it's an exciting place to be.
Yeah, I think so. And print, I mean, it's easy. That's an easy answer for me. People say print is dead, print is dead. Print is dead in the news business because you get your news really fast on Twitter and on your phone. But we aren't really in the news business. We just happen to be packaged as a newspaper. We're a direct mail product celebrating communities. It just happens to be on newsprint. We're also do magazines too. That's a whole nother podcast we'll be talking about. And our local leaders program that we did touch on a little bit, that's it's a simple concept, but I think a whole different show to really fully explain the local leaders thing because it's powerful and we're really excited about that too.
It
So
is. It's great. It's great to be here, and it's great to have all the facets to what this company really is about and the meaning behind it. And I think that's why I wanted to be a part of it. Personal achievement platforms are really the growth mindset for me as a person. So I think this is a really cool avenue to go in.
great. Well, I'm looking forward to having a conversation like this on a podcast in maybe a couple 3 months because I think it's
Okay.
going to be a whole different thing. It's like here's where we're going right now, and here's why we're going that direction. I think in a couple 3 months we're going to be able to look back and say, you know what, we talked back in March, and all
And
those
look at
things
where
we
it's
thought
at.
were going to happen are happening, and
Mhm.
we're even more excited about it. So, thanks again for being here today, Melody. So happy
Absolutely.
to have you on the team. You're going to be great. Everyone that I've known that met you and that's been a few already, has felt the same way I do. So you're a
Thrilled to
star
be
in
here.
our eyes, and I think everyone else's eyes, and looking for wonderful, wonderful things the rest of this year.
Thank you, Brad. I
Thanks for being
appreciate
here.
it, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Okay. Well, that's our show today. Thanks again for joining us. I do want to thank our sponsors, Attorney King, Saquon Casino, Indian Motorcycle of San Diego, the gym, and IB Fitness. As always, thank you very much. Thank you for our advertisers. One thing I didn't do before I wrap up, it's okay. You were, geez, I meant to say this early on, but our publication in 4S Ranch, if I can get this in the screen, just came out. I think it was Wednesday, day before yesterday. And we've got a star in here. It's Melody. Is right there on the front page with a great little interview about
Thank
you.
you.
Gives a little bit more detail. And
I've
it's
had
funny,
a couple responses on that, and people
I was just gonna
messaging
say
me. I was like,
I got
oh,
3 calls today. It's like, "Who's that on your cover? That's so cool." So, everyone feels the same way I do, I think. So, thanks for allowing us to put you in print and introduce you to the community. So, once again, thanks for being here. Sarah, our producer, another angel. Thank you as always. You're amazing, and we'll see you next time.
all right. Thanks.